suddenly so many of the different aspects that we've really taken for granted about work, right? That we all work at the same time, that some certain subsegment of us all work in the same place, that we all, in fact, even strive for that kind of optimized working in the same way. A lot of those things have been shifted for now. How do CIOs prepare for pent-up mobility to shift after the crisis?
So that's a very interesting question and a very important one. We are seeing now a very clear move from, working remotely or
Yeah.
working from home, moving from a benefit to something that becomes more of the new normal, whatever word we use for that, right?
Well,
And
well,
so,
one of the ways that I say it is that, up until now, working from home was a privilege, but suddenly it's a mandate. And
absolutely.
not only that, I mean, it's interesting that the initial sentiment that we're seeing implies that actually the segment of workers who would like to work all the time in a work share, so in other words, like a WeWork type place, that segment of workers actually has not changed. A lot more people want to work at home all the time. A lot more people don't want to work in the office all the time. But in other words, workers seem to want to seize control of their workspace in a new way.
Absolutely. I think the demand was there. It was just that we did not recognize it as organizations, as leaders, or we didn't really have a great reason for changing all that. So let's remind ourselves of a few numbers, right? Before the COVID, we had, especially here in the US, we had around 25% of employees who would work from home at a certain point in time or either for the entire week. So remote people, around 25%. We actually captured a new number, I would say 45, 60 days after, into the COVID situation. And this number has raised to around 70%, depending on the source. So this is a big jump. This is a big jump imposed by the particular restrictions we saw on social distancing, etc. Another thing that was also part of the equation, the economical benefits, the financial benefits. So from an employee side, it would save them money. It would save from $2 to $4K a year. If a certain employee works from home, they would have less interruptions. There would be fewer disruptions on a daily basis, and they would be happier. But if you ask them employees now, so how much of you are you willing to stay home and keeping on working from home? It's at least 50% of those employees. Right. So we saw those shifts clearly in preferences. People also started questioning themselves, where am I going to be safer, from a health perspective? So this all matters. And apart from the typical financial, benefits, there is also a conversation that many of our client organizations had with us about the ecological benefits, the environmental benefits. So, we are spending a lot of less oil around the globe, and the greenhouse gas emissions, it's pretty relevant in terms of saving. So that's a great opportunity for us not to waste that crisis, right? And ask ourselves, we can do much better than what we have been doing before. And, besides saving real estate space and money, we can do better as leaders, and our employees can do much better if we try to keep the situation as much as possible.